Temperature keeps rising like we're starting when you ride. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This weight of desire's not provided. Will you say yes tonight? 'Cause only girl making love, baby, love, you don't want to I'm walking around. You make it last forever. Girl, I got your lips up there. I'm walking around. Temperature keeps rising like we're starting when you ride. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This weight of desire's not provided. Will you say yes tonight? 'Cause only girl making love, baby, love, you don't want to I'm walking around. You make it last forever. Girl, I got your lips up there. I'm walking around. Temperature keeps rising like we're starting when you ride. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This weight of desire's not provided. Will you say yes tonight? 'Cause only girl making love, baby, love, you don't want to I'm walking around. You make it last forever. Girl, I got your lips up there. I'm walking around. Temperature keeps rising like we're starting when you ride. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This weight of desire's not provided. Will
Hope y'all enjoyed that brief share of the musical selection by the artist on IG known as Juan Zeke, aka Zeke. Great producer, man. Great musical mind. Shout out to him. Some of his blends have just been incredible. I would like if you could identify the songs or the artists in that blend that you caught earlier. Go ahead and throw it in the chat. Some of them should be obvious. Some of them, a little bit of a deeper cut if you get to where the samples are from, right? That being said, what it do? Newbies, you're not in the wrong place. The lifers will tell you this is, of course, that I am, of course, your favorite coach's favorite coach, your favorite fat freckle man, the big dog himself. Who? And this is the Life Be Lifing podcast. The Life Be Lifing podcast. Yeah. I felt like I had to add some more energy on that. You feel me? I didn't want that to be so flat. Tonight though, what we will be doing is I call this episode ISO because this is gonna be a dolo episode where I just some saved content. I'll just be reacting to some different saved content. Y'all can put y'all 2 cents in via the chat, or you could use the coach, to put me in coach function if you feel like you got a little bit more to say. So first, let's just go ahead. I'll pick them at random. It's no particular theme. Out of the ones that I'll be using tonight, I'll just kind of be picking them at random. So, let's see. Let me share my screen and bring them back up with ya. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope y'all good. If y'all not good, I hope y'all get better. I understand that life do indeed be lifing. So I could completely understand if it's not good right now. But one thing's for sure, 2 things for certain. No matter how good it is, it will always get worse. And no matter how bad it is, it'll always get better. At some point, life is not stuck in either direction permanently. It's not going to be bad forever. It's not going to be good forever. So we just learn to ride the waves, prepare for the worst, but work our hard to create the best. You dig me? Control what we can control. All right, let's get into these joints. Let's get into them. This is right here. So,
what if you're a married woman, but your husband is currently incarcerated? You've lost so much behind your husband, such as lots of money, car, home. I've met a new man with all of his own. What should I do? Should I consider leaving?
So did you know what your husband was involved in before he went in jail? Did you reap the benefits of the lifestyle that he provided for you before he went to jail? When you preface the question that you've lost all of these things, I lost money, I'm facing legal charges, the house and the cars or whatever, we don't get to play victim to the situations that we knew about, is why I asked the question. Because if your husband was out in these streets feeling like he had to provide a certain lifestyle for you that you reap the benefits of, it went awry and he lost it, now you're like, well, should I just move on to the next guy? That's not how that works. If you know what someone is involved in and they taking care of you while they home, if they face a situation when they are essentially down, that's your turn to prove how down you are, because that's what you signed up for by reaping the benefits of the lifestyle that he was living. Now, the woman that is a victim to that, or the woman that did not know, I was bamboozled. I thought he was living right. He got me losing all my. You don't get to say he got me losing all of these things that you signed up for. Because when the money was rolling in, you was on them trips. You had that bag. You had that car. This is the time to prove how much of a wife you really are. This is not your time to be figuring out, well, 12 to 17 months, you got this. I'm finna go with the next guy. That makes you an opportunist, not a wife.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with y'all again.
Yeah, me too.
I ain't gonna lie. I think just because I was dumb yesterday don't mean I gotta be dumb tomorrow. And the fact of the matter is, a man's job is to lead. When you have a family, when you have a woman, when you out there making those decisions, you gotta keep them in mind, right? So if you get locked up, now you done left your post. She don't have leadership now. She don't have covering now. So now she's having to step up and do things that she should never have to do. If you want to be active in the streets, that's your decision. You do your thing, but you leave other people out of that.
Before he went in, I stressed the fact to him that if he get locked up, I'm gone.
Why you ain't stand on that?
It's my duty as a wife to hold him down, make sure he eats and make sure that he's comfortable and things like that. But at the same time,
It's his duty as a husband to protect you. You said you lost how many things?
a lot.
This was a poor decision that he made. What is his loyalty to? Is it the streets or his wife? Because if his loyalty was to you, he will find another way in his husbandhood to protect you and provide for you.
Right.
You have no covering right now, but you're holding up your end. I understand and I respect that you're holding up your wifely duties. Where's the partnership in this though?
I was muted. So it's the same time instead of running the whole thing back. The scenario is that here she is, she's a wife, her husband is locked down. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have to do a year and a half, something like that. And she is contemplating moving on. You have one young lady, Kara, who basically said, hey, you signed on for this, ride it out. You had Trill and you had Kitty who said, hey, your husband was supposed to be in charge. Him getting locked up shows that he made poor decision making, and you don't have to be beholden to his poor decision making that is negatively impacting your life. So before I answer, would anybody in the chat like to have a couple of words on that? Does anybody feel a way? If not, again, I called this episode ISO, so I'm perfectly prepared to go in and, take this on 1v1. I'll give a couple of moments as some people are just joining us. Welcome, 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 welcome. The scenario is basically there is a married woman whose husband got knocked. He was out there in the streets. He's locked up and she wants to know, should she move on? One of the panelists says, hold him down because you was in for a penny, so be in for a pound, basically. You was down when he was up. When he was up, you was down for everything he was doing, and you knew what he was doing. You knew he was out in them streets. So ride for him. And you have two panelists that say, hey, you knew he was in them streets, he knew he was in them streets, and he know what come with being in them streets. So that means if he got locked up, you ain't got nothing going for you now. Go ahead and move on. Are there any takers? If not, I'm already suited up and ready to ball. I'll give y'all a couple of moments. I don't have no Jeopardy music to play in the meantime. Oh no, that's trash. I need to find music to play in the meantime when I have these questions. No, that ain't it either. I'm sorry. I'm just experimenting. This might be it. Jeopardy theme music. That'll be our Jeopardy music from now on. Right. So we'll go ahead and address this. I lean to the side with Kira. I understand what Trill and Kitty were saying in terms of, your husband is supposed to protect you, so forth and so on. All this is true. And him being incarcerated means you no longer have any covering or protection. Understood. However, I maintain that you don't get to be a part of the heist and then complain when your cut comes back short. You decided to engage in criminality. Legally, you don't even get off if this is the case. Like, legally, you could go to jail for conspiracy, for aiding and abetting in these situations. Because once even in stolen goods, if I stole a car and sold it to you and you knew it was stolen, you can go to jail because you accept stolen goods. Never mind the fact that, sure, if let's say it's my son, right? If it's my oldest son, he about to go away to college, I want him to have a car on campus, so I steal him a car. He knows the car is stolen. He gets pulled over in it. He can go to jail and be accused of accepting stolen goods if they question him and he's like, yeah, I knew. Or they can prove that he knew. So again, in for a penny, in for a pound. If you were going on, as Kier said, going on these trips, buying these handbags, allowing him to spend the drug money on you when he was out and when he was up and when he was getting to it, if you never drew the personal lines or the moral lines or the principle or ethical lines to say, hey, I'm not going to be with a guy who does illegal things, regardless of why he's doing them. I'm just not going to be with that kind of guy, because she had every right. Once she realized he was in the streets, she had every right before she married him to say, hey, I don't marry criminals. No, you married a criminal. And then when he got pinched, now you want to bail. No, that's corny. That's corny. And yeah, I totally disagree with Trill and Kitty making it the husband's problem and saying, he isn't covering you. He isn't protecting you. What had he been doing that whole time he was out? Because that's like saying, if it's a situation and we outside and somebody disrespect the wife and he goes and he gets his strap and he pews the guy, right? Or pews the guys, because it's a gang of guys. Let's say that it's a gang of guys, and they up there, harassing his wife. So he ups the two pews and gets arrested for it. Does that mean all of a sudden he wasn't being a man? That he wasn't trying to protect her? Like, you can't remove the pieces for what's convenient. Oh, he didn't put covering over you. He made a poor decision. Yes, he made a poor decision, and he was making that poor decision for your benefit, and you went along with it, so you okayed it, thus even giving him more incentive to continue to make that bad decision. I think this is a layup on this one. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Real simple, real easy. Let's go to something else. Let's go to something else.
You can tell how conditional someone's values are by the insult they reach for when they are angry. Because I've noticed something online. Some women will be...
Ooh. Sorry to interrupt. But that was a bar. That was a bar. Whew. You can read. You can tell by the insult they reach for when they're angry. All right. Let me go back and let boy do his thing.
Be completely progressive until a man says something they disagree with. And then suddenly it is, why are you so sassy? You are giving feminine energy, or just come out already. Oh, okay. So we support gay men unless one of them hypothetically annoys you. And then homosexuality becomes available for emergency use. Break glass in case of disagreement. And the funniest part is that they will swear it is not homophobic. They'll say, oh, I never said being gay was bad. Well, no, you just introduced it specifically because you wanted to embarrass him. If there was no negative meaning attached to it, it would be useless as an insult. So you're not actually trying to determine his sexuality. You are trying to lower his status by suggesting he failed some test of masculinity. So you don't want to explain why his argument is wrong. So now we are investigating his voice, his mannerisms, and whether he crossed his legs with sufficient heterosexual intent. It is masculinity policing disguised as progressive humor. And it kind of exposes a strange contradiction. People would say that men should be more expressive, more vulnerable, and less trapped by rigid gender roles. But the second a man expresses himself in a way they don't like, it becomes, why are you acting like a woman? So apparently, men are free to reject traditional masculinity, provided their new personality has been approved by the committee. And look, I can acknowledge that men do this as well. That part is not new. But what makes this version so funny is that it is the conditional progressivism. Some people oppose homophobia until homophobia becomes useful. They oppose body shaming until they dislike the woman, or they oppose racism until the minority has the wrong politics. So the principles remain incredibly strong right up until the target becomes unsympathetic. And then every belief suddenly becomes terms and conditions, right? And look, anger is one of the best ways to see what somebody really believes. Anybody can claim to have principles when those principles cost them nothing. The real test is whether you still have them when violating them would help you win. Because you don't get to use someone's identity as a weapon and then call yourself an ally once the argument is over. Okay, that is just prejudice with selective business hours.
Wow. That man said a lot. That man said a lot right there. I'm going ahead and just... Wow. Because yeah, I don't really know that I should add on to that. I don't really know that I should add on to that. I agree with everything he said, and if you don't, you're going to have to get in these comments, whether it's during the live chat or later on when you have some time. You're going to have to get in these comments and explain where he lied. I ain't even finna add on. Bro got it. Let's see. Because I played that the other day.
Why you pop balloon? I mean, again, like I said at the beginning, I don't want to stop people from doing shit that they like to do because that's them naturally. She proudly said she's still out here shaking ass. She said that herself. I'm just going off what you said, how you went off what I said. She not ugly. I respect all my beautiful black queens regardless of popping the balloon. So, yeah.
All right, so I just want to make stuff clear. All right, so because she was shaking her ass, that's why you popped.
She was happy as hell to say that shit.
All right, okay, yeah.
Hey, stand on it, though.
You don't like bitches that shake ass? What you like?
Who?
Niggas that shake ass? What's the tea? If you don't like bitches that shake ass, if you ain't like bitches that shaking ass, then what the fuck you like? Nigga, you like niggas that shake ass. That's it.
For example.
What you talking about? I ain't never heard no nigga say he mad that a bitch shaking ass. What are you talking about?
You still outside of that age, like shake your ass.
They right here. They right here. Yo, they face the same way as me.
Yo.
Let me hold them. I got that. Case in point. Case in point. This will be this case in point. Because he doesn't want a woman who still indulges in a certain behavior, because he don't want to be with a woman who twerking and shaking her tail feather, that must mean he wants to be with a man who's twerking and shaking his tail feathers. Because it couldn't just be that he thinks that's something, you know, about a maturity level, right? That after a certain age, that's not maybe what a woman of that age should desire to be known for doing. Now, I will say, um, one could argue that dancing is cool at any age, and shaking your moneymaker is timeless, right? Um, one could argue that, and that would be a different conversation because that wasn't her response. Her response wasn't in that, well, I think you're making too big of a thing because dancing is dancing. Her thing was exactly what the other brother said. I don't agree with you. Thereby, you have to be effeminate. You have to be, you know, a homosexuals. Um, it's just too, it's too predictable, too easy. But case in point, I didn't even do that on purpose, y'all. I didn't even do that on purpose. Let me see if I can find one more with some pretty good content for us to discuss. All right. Here's something unrelated. Let's go.
Can your spouse stay the night out?
You want me to answer the question honestly too, though. That's the crazy part.
Yes, you know how we talk. You know how we talk when we get to talking.
I wouldn't mind it if you stayed out, right? But it has to come with like, all right, I don't share locations with
nobody,
but besides you and
Yeah.
certain family members, right? So I feel like if you're gonna stay out, then all right, let me if it's feasible, let me get the location so I know where you are, just in case something was to happen.
Ooh.
And then
I didn't expect that answer from you.
I mean, just trying to grow up a little bit.
They ain't growing up.
Wow.
Bro, we down there 40. What are you spending the night out for?
It might be
Listen, you get like one pass a year where you got fucked up. I live for, so it's a little different for me. You got fucked up. I don't really want you on the highway. You know what I'm saying? Bring your ass home. I ain't playing. It's nothing out. Can your spouse stay the night out?
You want me to answer the question honestly too, though. That's the
This was
crazy
short,
part.
so I'll let it
Yes,
play
you
one
know
more
how we
time.
talk. You know how we talk when we get to talking.
I wouldn't mind it if you stayed out, right? But it has to come with like, all right, I don't share locations with nobody, but besides you and
Yeah.
certain family members, right? So I feel like if you're gonna stay out, then all right, let me if it's feasible, let me get the location so I know where you are, just in case something was to happen.
Ooh.
And then
I didn't expect that answer from you.
I mean, just trying to grow up a little bit.
They ain't growing up.
Wow.
Bro, we down there 40. What are you spending the night out for?
It might be
Listen, you get like one pass a year where you got fucked up. I live for, so it's a little different for me. You got fucked up. I don't really want you on the highway. You know what I'm saying? Bring your ass home. I ain't playing. It's nothing out.
Ain't even realize I was muted. Sorry, my bad. But this is me putting on the Life Be Life in Jeopardy music just in case anybody who's watching and in the chat felt like they had something they wanted to say on the topic, in case they wanted to, use to put me in, coach, or, something in particular they wanted to type about the situation. Um, Here is your chance. I'm gonna play that one more time since I started playing it before it started. All right. The topic again is, can your spouse stay out? Basically, how do you feel about your spouse staying out? Here goes the Jeopardy music while y'all think of y'all answers. Hey, yo, chill on me, new friend. Chill on me. Chill on me. Chill on me. Not the Russian version of me. That's crazy. That is crazy. Cool out, please. Cool out, new friend. All right. So, as a married man, um, how do I feel about spouse staying out? I am one of those married men who don't make a big deal about the spouse staying out. Especially depending on the conditions of what's going on and where she is. I too would absolutely require the location. I need to know who you staying with. I need to know where you staying. I need to know what time you got there, and yo, what's good, Myra? And I need to know about what time you plan to leave. Um, yeah, I need to know those things. But in terms of you stay like, especially if you're letting me know at the last minute. Now, if you tell me beforehand, y'all going to a concert, it's gonna be out late. You and your girls gonna rent a room instead of driving all the way back home. Um, what I mean, then that's cool. I'll know beforehand, and then yes, I need to know which girlfriends you're going with, and or which sisters you're going with, and I need to know the telly that you're staying at, including the room number. Um, Outside of that, yeah, I'm cool. I'm Gucci. I ain't worried about. I say it before, and I'll say it 1,000 more times. Hold on, let me put Tommy's answer up right quick. I think it's a problem if they're with no communication. I don't know what has happened or where they are. I agree. That is actually just wrong. And I will say that I have not been out all night without notice, but definitely out late without notice before in my younger years, and that was highly irresponsible. And it was disrespectful. Like that was bugging. I was bugging. I was bugging. I could admit that. That was just poor form on my part. Um, but yeah, so if it's a last second plan where you call an audible, you were supposed to come home that night, but you're not gonna come home that night, then yeah, I just need those details. Who you plan on staying out with, where you plan on staying out. Um, Hit me when you get there, wherever it is. Hit me when you get there, and then hit me again in the morning before you leave. Or if you're gonna kick it there for a little bit longer, like if you had a homegirl house, you stayed over, y'all gonna do breakfast, brunch, whatever it is, then you need to hit me up in the morning, and then you need to hit me up again and let me know, all right, I'm on my way home. That's all. Because I need to know nobody did nothing to you. That's it. That's it, and that's all. My whole thing is I'm not gonna be the person who bars my wife from staying the night out, um, because I'm worried about who she gonna do something with. Man, listen, your significant other could go out for groceries. and go, jump on top of or get jumped on top of by, whoever it is they want to, do that with. And you thinking they at the grocery store, whole time they in the back of somebody's vehicle, getting humped on. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I can't live like that. I can't live paranoid like that. I can't live insecure like that, where that's my concern. If you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat, and there's literally nothing I could do about it. My only concern about you staying out is your safety. That is it. That is it. Is either your safety or you inconveniencing some plans we already got in place. Like if I got someplace to be on Sunday, but you were supposed to, hold the little person down on Sunday. Excuse me. And now I can't go do whatever it is I'm supposed to do because, you not home and I didn't plan for somebody else to watch the little person. Then yeah, me and you going to definitely have an issue. That's you inconveniencing the situation. Um, Outside of that, I can't afford to sweat it. Bigger fish to fry, bigger problems to worry about. But that is all I will react to tonight. We're gonna close it down a little bit earlier than normal. I'm not finna lie to y'all. I've had a rough week in terms of just fatigue. Not like the week from hell where all the bad stuff is happening. Honestly, God has been really good to me this week in terms of making things happen, or making things not happen, honestly. Um, so I ain't going front on that. Um, but yeah, man, your boy could afford an extra couple of minutes in bed. So, but I wasn't gonna sit here and do a night without content, especially knowing next week I might not be available to do an episode. It all depends, because next Thursday night, well, next Thursday, I will be taking my oldest son to start his collegiate journey at his college. He's actually doing a work study. So while most people don't go until next week, he's going up early to start the training and, get acclimated so he's ready to do that part. Um, so by the time classes come around, he already knows what's expected of him at the gig and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, so I'm not sure if it depending on time and what else is going on with the day. I would still love to come back and podcast and tell you guys about that. Appreciate you, Ty. Appreciate you. I would still love to come back and even share that with you, this whole thing about college and taking your first kid off to college and stuff like that. I would love to share that with you guys, man. So hopefully I do have the time to do that, but if I don't, hey, man, family first. Y'all know me. Family first. Family, you know what I'm saying? God first, family, then everything else. You heard? Um, so that's what's gonna go on. But aside from that, yeah, I am gonna wrap this up a little bit sooner. Um, who threw me a oop this week? Did I get a oop this week? Oh, okay. She might be watching this, she might not, but she threw me a oop this week. So I might be emotional. I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't think I'll be honest. I don't think I'm emotional. I don't think I'll be emotional until like a week of him not being here. Once that sets in, because I want him to go off. I'm gonna be excited about him going off. Um, and if anything, I don't think I'll be emotional. I'll be too busy being concerned. Just, like, hey man, just make sure, you abiding by the survival rules that I taught you and stuff like that. So it'll be some concern from that angle, but not really the emotional. I'm sure his mom gonna be emotional for sure. Um, his brother's gonna be emotional. And I think that that's probably when it's gonna hit me is when I see like around the house when I see maybe his little brother react to the fact that, he goes upstairs and doesn't hear his older brother or doesn't see him, and hearing him say, I miss him and stuff like that. That I'm not gonna lie. That's probably gonna have me in my bag. That's probably gonna have me in my bag. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I know some people do. It's just that leaving him there, I'm gonna be like I said. If anything, I'm gonna be both excited and concerned. Not really emotional because like that's part of the mission. But I definitely know it'll set in with him not being here. Like after a couple of days of him not being here, and the talks that we normally have at night, not being able to just randomly have those talks. I know that probably would get to me. And like I said, definitely seeing his little brother go through it, because he's very sensitive, so I know he'll go through it, and that'll probably, you know, need to get the, I had to have to do the little, air wipe like they cutting onions. I don't want the Denzel Glory tear to fall down your heard. But and I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and support a brother and allow me to be vulnerable in that moment. But I appreciate y'all in advance as a community for the support that you've shown my son in his high school and his, beginning his collegiate journey. All the well wishes and the people who contributed to his Trump party and got him gifts and stuff like that and all that. So I appreciate all that. And the people who just, pray for him and, like I said, sent positive energy if they didn't get no gifts. Thank you to y'all as well, man. I appreciate y'all. That's part of what this community is supposed to be about. It's not just listeners, it's not just viewers, it's not just people who like, share, comment. Please do all those things. But it's also people who, take part of the shared experiences of life and support each other, man. So thanks in advance, and thanks for what y'all have already done. Um, we are going to just bring in, so everybody, bring it in, bring it in. I won't talk about you if you cry. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I'm not gonna lie. As a man, nothing hurts worse than when a woman talk about you if you shed a tear. If a dude do it, I ain't gonna lie. I don't care because you know what you want to do. You want to fight? But if a woman does it, it hits you a little bit, makes you feel away. Um, but yeah, so we will first and foremost, we will end on what will we end on today? What's a good word for this week? Because I don't want no long multi-syllable word. We'll just end on win this week, man. I feel like we'll just end on win this week. But did we do that with Reese already? Yeah, we did that with Reese already. I'll be emotional enough for you. I know you will, best. I know you will. You gonna have to we gonna have to you gonna have to pull up on me with a hug or something, man. And I ain't talking about the 25-cent quarter water, you heard me. Um yeah, you gonna have to do me like how we do after you lose a championship. Just put the towel over my head and let me sit down and have that moment. You heard? Um so tell you what, we'll end it on trust. We'll end this on trust. Um So, on behalf of A.C.E, my brother, who we always be, on behalf of the owner of Simply Nashay Catering, the sponsor of the Two Kings 215 and Life Be Lifing podcast, Russ's wife, Denver's mom, Mrs. Keish with the cake. As I always say, be smart, be respectful, be patient. That includes being patient with yourself. Be kind to as many people as you possibly can. I know some people's gonna make that impossible. Don't worry about those people, man. Just make sure every single day to take the time to pour back into your cup by doing something nice for yourself. Because even though it's possible, it's not a great idea to continue to pour from an empty cup. Okay? At some point, you're going to run out. That being said, all right, on three, we will break on trust. All right. Everybody got their hands in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Trust. Thank you all for coming. Pause. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for the support. And like I said, hopefully I get to, share in real time with y'all, or like immediately after real time, I guess. How that experience is for me. And Ty, if I do get emotional up there, I won't lie. I'll admit it. I'll be man enough to admit that you was right. That being said, I appreciate y'all. I truly do love y'all. I mean that from the muscle. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, all the good things. I take constructive criticisms as well. So if you ain't like something, tell me that too. That being said, y'all have a great night. Have a great rest of y'all week. Stay cool in this heat wave. Be safe and stay dangerous.